Hi guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. Today we're back with a Ziggs commentary guide, and now you guys should have expected this to come sooner or later. Firstly, I did mention in the various video that I'll be coming up with a Ziggs commentary guide soon, which is of course this one. Other than that, I also have put Ziggs on my bot lane tier list. So this is, if you guys haven't noticed yet, is Ziggs bot. It's not a Ziggs mid. So I have been playing a lot of Ziggs bot, and I do like him as a pick. The only real issue with Ziggs is obviously he is a long-range artillery mage, so he's more like for poking, and he doesn't have any form of consistent DPS at all. In the late game you do have like a 2-second cooldown on your Q, so unless you count that as DPS, which I do not. So the main time you only pick Ziggs is when your entire rest of the team is AD. So here, as you guys can see, we got a Pantheon, Kha'Zix, and a Yasuo. Nami barely does damage, so I'm counting it as I'm the only real AP damage source on the team. So really, you have like a couple of choices when it comes to this. It's Ziggs, Orianna, or Corki. Corki is probably the least off meta of the three. Ziggs is kind of off meta because I haven't really seen it, but I do believe that sooner or later Ziggs bot lane will kind of be meta, which is sort of where League PC actually went to as well. So the playstyle of Ziggs is actually really simple. Basically, all you want to do is you sit back in your lane and just poke. Like, you will never really get a solo kill with Ziggs. Even if you play like an aggressive support, it's really hard to get a solo kill with Ziggs. The only way I see that happening is if like a Leona locks someone down long enough, you hit them with your ult in the center and throw all your rest of your abilities. If you have poked them out already, that could be a kill, but you're not gonna 100-0 anyone under any circumstances in the laning phase at least. In the late game it's a different story, but in the laning phase at least it's not gonna work out basically. Now, this is going to be a very tough game for my team. So you guys will see that it's probably one of the worst, it's not a worst gameplay, but it's one of the worst performances of a gameplay I'm gonna post to YouTube for quite a long time. Because, yeah, the team really didn't do too well here, including myself. I didn't do too bad, but I definitely didn't do well by any stretch of the imagination. So, Ziggs, as I've always covered in like my bans video, like in my tier list video, he has so much going for him. Like, I'm normally referring to the mid lane Ziggs, but honestly the bot lane Ziggs has all of the same strengths. You know, he has very good scaling, very good poking. He's very safe with both his long range as well as, you know, his W, his bomb, which allows him to jump away. So he has some kind of safety tool. You know, he has his passive, which allows him to take towers very fast. He has his W, which also allows him to take towers very fast. You know, sometimes only when you have a Ziggs on your team can you actually take down a tower. Whereas if you had anyone else, you had to back off before the enemies come. You know, he has an ultimate which is semi-global, so he has like map presence. The ultimate does a lot of damage. The ultimate can steal objectives, so you can steal like dragons, barons, heralds very easily with your ultimate, because as long as you aim it in the center, the chance of stealing is pretty high when you get to the later stages of the game, because you will out damage a smite when the center of your ultimate hits. So really Ziggs has like so much going for him. Like the only like kind of problem I would say is if people get onto you, it's hard to escape. Yes, you do have your bomb, you do have your flash, but if you get CC'd, you're basically gone. Like, there's basically no way you can really escape. Here, we're trying to get onto the Lucian. Lucian basically barriers majority of my damage, so yeah. As I said, very low chance you'll get a solo kill on the lane. You just want to play for the scaling. So for my first item, I actually go for the tier, because even though I went for mana flow bad, Ziggs is one of the most mana hungry champions, considering you're spamming your Q to poke at every available opportunity like that. Like, you even can poke people off screen. Like, if you guys notice, that bomb actually hit the brand off screen. So his bomb range is really long. So pretty much laning phase, you just play to scale. Poke people as much as possible, just so that, you know, they don't have a comfortable laning phase, and so that if your jungler ganks, the chance of it being successful is higher. And also, of course, to charge up your mana flow ban. So first up our build, we go for the tier, as I said, and then after we go for Luden's Echo, and then straight into Death Cap. Of course, Luden's Echo just got buffed, and, you know, Death Cap just gives the most damage overall. I'm not actually opting for the Sarah's Embrace, although you can, because personally I think that Sarah's Embrace isn't the best item. Here I get caught out, and this is the problem with Ziggs. If you get caught out, you're basically dead. Like, your positioning has to be very, very on point, even more so than like a majority of AD carries, because for a majority of AD carries, if you're caught out of position, you'll probably die, yes. However, you do have a decent chance of just killing the enemy straight up if the situation is alright. Well, with Ziggs, that basically will never happen, because the only real damage you have is your bomb, being your Q, as well as your E. Other than that, like, you basically have no DPS, so the chances of you killing an enemy if you get caught out is next to nothing, unless they're like 1 HP already. So here, as you guys can see, I'm waiting, the Herald, boom, I stole the Herald. Now, honestly, did I deserve that steal? Probably not. Like, Nunu had his smite up, so he could have easily smited that away, but I think he just panicked when he saw the Ziggs ultimate and forgot to smite, so I managed to steal it at like 400 health, but what his smite clearly does, like, I think at this point he's like, a decent level, so I do think his smite probably at this point is like 600 plus, if not like more. So here Lucian actually gets caught out, and he actually flashes over my W, which actually saved his life, because if he got bombed back towards us, I think we actually would manage to actually kind of kill him with all of the Nami CC. So he kind of actually saved his life with the flash there. Really good flash by him. Of course, credit where it's due, that was a really nice flash. So here Pantheon actually comes in, but we're both low. We've chunked them out good enough, so Pantheon should be able to clean up for the team. Here he gets a kill onto the Brand. I hit the bomb onto the Lucian, but Lucian is going to escape with a sliver of health. We can of course try to hit another bomb on him, but it goes nowhere close. So yeah, it's just going to be like that. So far we are still 0-1 and 0. We don't even have an assist on the board for that kill with the Pantheon. But you know, at this point we have the Herald. But the issue is that all our lanes in general aren't doing the best. Like, the score is only 1-3. Like, we're not like dying big time or anything. Here Lucian actually escapes with a sliver of health yet again. So he uses his barrier to block the majority of the damage, and yep, he just escapes with his life yet again. Now, the issue is that the majority of our lanes aren't really doing too well, so I don't really have a very good place to put the Herald. Maybe the Yasuo Nasus lane is going pretty alright. Pantheon is kind of losing his lane because he's roaming. Ziggs obviously is not really going to win lane because he just wants to wait to scale. So really the best candidate to drop is probably the Yasuo lane, because Yasuo probably bullies Nasus in the early game. But it's really not really the best move for me to walk all the way to bot just to drop the Herald. Unless, you know, I time it with like a dragon spawn or something, but even so, I should be around for the dragon fight, so really no good place for me to put the Herald, which is kind of problematic. So here I've got my Luden's Echo. Ziggs, oh, I forgot to mention another strength about Ziggs, which is the fact he has insane wave clear. So here, Kha'Zix is just gonna solo kill the Lucian, just, you know, assassin versus AD carry things. I can't believe, I can't believe, but I have been that Lucian many times where I just get solo killed by a Kha'Zix, you know, just like that. The life of an AD carry. Alright, so Ziggs has insane wave clear. Just take a look at this. We're gonna just E the wave, and then we can just Q the wave, auto attack, and basically all the minions are gone except the cannon minion. In the later stages of the game, like after maybe you get your death cap, you can instantly clear a wave with just your Q and your W. Of course, you gotta throw your Q in the middle of all the 4 minions, so the AoE kills all of them. But you can actually instant clear a wave with Ziggs, which is something that's really helpful, of course. Now, Luden's Echo, of course, just got buffed, so it's generally the best first item. Before that, honestly, Ziggs, I don't really know what Ziggs built before. Maybe, I think he built Liandry's, if I'm not wrong, just because of how broken Liandry's is. Everybody was building Liandry's. So here we have kind of like a split up fight where Brand is going onto me and Lucian is going onto Nami. They actually managed to just straight up out damage, or not out damage, burst, I should say, the Nami and dies. I mean, we are into a kill lane. It's like a Brand and a Lucian. It's super aggressive kill lane, so we are in deep trouble when it comes to that. So I set the Herald before I actually recall, because the dragon has spawned. The Herald will at least try to attempt to distract them. Pantheon's pinging for dragon. I'm thinking the same thing. Before the Herald just gets cleared straight up, we should try to at least, you know, see if we can do anything about the dragon. Kha'Zix thankfully has the same idea, so here he is. Here I'm just going to try to zone the Nunu out, because Ziggs also has pretty good zoning potential. Here Nasus probably doing the right move, which is just to run straight at us, and Kha'Zix dies, and there goes our chance of getting the dragon. I do my best to try to get off some poke as this is happening. Nasus just runs down Nami. Nami dies as well. Nasus doesn't really take damage at all for me, so I'm gonna have to flash the wall to try to survive. Nasus whacks me with an E, which nearly takes my life. Of course, the enemy team gets the dragon, but here I'm just trying not to die to the Nasus. So yeah. Regardless, for the runes, I've actually taken champion, and as you guys can see, it's not going too well because I already have died, and I'm like basically very close to dying a second time. I've taken champion, I've taken bone plating, I've taken mana flow ban, and of course I've taken summon airy, as you guys can see. So I generally think that these are the best runes for Ziggs. You know, bone plating just because of the same logic as Varus. With your long range, generally you wouldn't really proc it in lane unless you are kind of getting bursted, which is the main purpose of bone plating. So champion, just because you're unlikely to die. You're just supposed to play safe for laning phase, which is technically what I've been doing, but I just got out of position for one time in that first dragon fight. So yep, that was my mistake. So here I'm gonna try to instant clear the wave like that. We just Q the wave once, and that's more or less enough to clear the wave. So yeah, and other than that, yeah, mana flow ban for the mana problems, as I said. And yeah, so summon airy just the best because you can poke a lot with it, and really nothing else is as useful. Like electrocute, the cooldown is way too long. Conqueror, maybe, I mean Conqueror there is an argument for it because Conqueror is just so broken as a rune that pretty much anybody can use Conqueror basically. So yeah, but I just take summon airy in general. So you're just clearing the wave and just poking as usual. Then we're gonna back off. Like, we have already lost our first tower, so it's a very, very long ways away to the second tower. So I don't really want to get caught out. I say that, but I'm kind of getting caught up by the Lucian right here. Thankfully, I was kind of alert, so nothing too much comes of it. I do use my barrier though, because Lucian technically has a lot of sticking potential with both his E and the speed up on his W, so wasn't taking any chances. Here I actually ult to clear the minion wave as well as do damage to Nasus and Ahri. Now you will see in this game that I use a lot of my ults to clear minion waves. Now if you're behind as a Ziggs, you will realize that a lot of the time you'll be just using ult to clear minion waves, because a lot of times if you and your team are behind, it's not really very safe to go up to clear the waves yourself, so you just use your ult to clear the minion waves. Now the score is 8-13, but if you guys realize, my team is nearly 10k gold behind, so we are in dire straits. Like, although it may not seem like it when you look at the kills. I mean, in the game itself, that you can feel it. You're getting wrecked by the enemy team. Like, you can feel that you're not doing too well. I saved the tower by the skin of my teeth, so you know that the enemy team is way, way ahead of you, so you can feel it that, you know, there's a huge goal gap, and definitely I was feeling it in this game, like how the enemy team was just killing us so easily. But yeah, so far, our main saving grace, it isn't me, it's the Pantheon. The Pantheon is doing pretty well. He's 5-2-2, which is way better than what the rest of the team is doing. Like, probably after him, it's probably me. Like, I'm not doing too bad, I'm 0-1-2. Now, I could argue I only have 2 KP out of the 9 kills we have, but at least I only have 1 death, and I am gonna scale, so that's something to take into consideration. So we are also like about halfway there to the death cat, I'd say. Here, Ahri catches me out, and I try to bomb myself away. I flash away. I actually live on 1 HP, but unfortunately the Foxfire Wisps managed to catch on to me. And maybe if I just kept running, I might have actually survived. So that might actually have been a misplay by me, but I'm not too sure. I probably would have died anyway because she does get a speed up from the Foxfire, so probably that wasn't a mistake, but it's still bad regardless. So yeah. And right as the dragon's about to spawn, Nasus is split pushing bot, and the dragon is about to spawn. Our team is kind of getting into the dragon era. We do get priority over the dragon, but really what kind of priority can we really have when we're so behind from the enemy team? So instead, we're just gonna clear the wave, and the enemy team is gonna get priority on dragon. You can see Nunu already in the area. Obviously, they're all in the bush. We saw them all walk in from the ward we placed at the right before the dragon pit area. Here, I'm just going to clear the wave as fast as I can. Now, I didn't use my ult to clear this wave because I could potentially use my ult to try to steal the dragon. But as that thought was crossing my mind, the dragon has already been taken, so, no chance for a steal there. So here, the entire enemy team is just chasing us. They're using everything. I bear it to protect myself from the culling damage. And, yeah. I ult, and it doesn't really even chunk them that much. So, here I'm actually doing a decent amount of damage, I'd say, but the enemy team is just a little bit too ahead. I can't really step up to do damage, and because I die very easily. But I kind of just staying in the back line, what you should be doing even if you're ahead, just for information, and just trying to get off as much Qs or Es as I can into the enemy team. I accidentally bombed right into the wall there. A little bit of a misplay again. So here Nasus goes in 1v4. Actually trades a kill onto Kha'Zix before he dies, which is, I would say, not bad. Yasuo goes in a little bit too deep, and not much we can do to save him. I try to use everything, and honestly at this point, if you guys take a look at the enemy health bars, the Ahri, the Nunu, and the Brand are like literally 1 HP. But we can't kill them because we are Ziggs. Like, I mean, even if we are 80 carry, I don't think it's likely that we kill them. Pantheon gets a kill onto the Nasus though, so that's good to get some gold back onto our team. We're still like 10k gold behind, so the situation is still very, very dire for us. But rest in this game, honestly, our team comp doesn't really scale that well. Like, on the enemy team, Brand and Nasus scales particularly well. Nunu gets more tanky. Ahri, scaling is alright. Lucian, contrary to popular belief, his scaling is alright as well. He does fall off compared to harder scaling AD carries, but he's not as bad as like Elite PC, for example. Here I ult to check Baron. They're not on Baron, so yeah. So here I'm just going to clear the wave. On our side, Pantheon falls off. Kha'Zix falls off. Yasuo, he's alright, he's okay, but his build is very wonky. He has Blade of the Rune King, Maul Reminder, and then now finally the Phantom Dancer. Like, where is your Charge Blade? Where is your Infinity Edge? Like, what is he building? So, who knows? And pretty much I'm the best scaler on our team. Like, the only real way we can win this game at this point in time is we need to get a really good team fight and then a really good push. Because with Ziggs, you can push really quickly. So, we just need to get a good team fight, a good push, and hopefully we generate enough pressure to get an objective. At this point, they haven't got any of inhibitors yet, and with Ziggs, good wave clear is not so bad. Here, huge minion wave at the top lane. I'm just going to ult the minion wave to just clear it. But my team starts to fight again without me, but unfortunately the tower is gone. But regardless, Ziggs can clear waves pretty well. And of course, if the enemy team secure Baron, which is what they are going for now, it is really hard to clear Baron empowered waves. However, Ziggs is probably the best wave clearer in the game. I bump into the wall yet again. So Pantheon actually ults in, unfortunately a little bit too late. He puts up his shield the wrong direction and he dies for it. So here my whole team is just inting. Kha'Zix actually trades onto Lucian before he dies, which honestly I would say is pretty worth. Like, trading Kha'Zix for a Lucian, especially removing Lucian's Baron buff, is pretty worth it. Here Yasuo decides to commit suicide by just going to the entire enemy team. I miss my ult and I have to flash. I have my QSS because I know that I can get rooted by Nunu, I can get slowed by Nasus, stunned by Brand, charmed by Ahri, and I've already shown that I got caught out a couple of times in this game. So this time I'm not taking any chances. I have my QSS, so Nasus slows me, I use my QSS, and I run away. I'm trying my best to clear the minion wave, but it's not really working out. Of course, with the Baron and Empowered minions, it's really, really difficult to clear the minion wave. So I'm just really trying my best. Like, as a Ziggs, you really can do quite a bit to the minion wave. So I'm just trying my best to clear it, trying my best to just poke them out, make sure they're not healthy. Nasus really not healthy at all. Here I'm ulting to clear the minion wave, scare the Ahri away as well. I'm using everything on the minion wave, but we don't actually manage to save the tower. Pantheon and Kha'Zix managed to team up to actually find a pick onto the Ahri, which is great news. Pantheon is ulting somewhere, ulting to further down the mid lane. I guess he gets there faster, he doesn't have to walk. And now here we're actually going for the Elder Dragon. Of course, there are 2 deaths on the enemy team already. We have a pretty good chance of getting this Elder Dragon, and thankfully Pantheon secures it. So this is the one saving grace we have. We secured the Elder Dragon, and we're kind of wrecking the enemy team at the moment. Somehow we find the fight, we get the Nasus, and will we get the Lucian? Probably not. Lucian's about to get me, actually. Barrier saves my life. Nami saves my life. Actually, it doesn't save my life. I'm actually just dead. Oops. So, here, thankfully, looks like we're going to trade onto the Lucian. Yes, we do. And we actually somehow managed to ace the enemy team. Like, somehow we got a miraculous fight there. Now, take note, we're actually at this point in time more than 1,000, not more than 1,000, more than 10,000 gold behind, right? Like 12,000 gold behind, but we still find the fight. Even after we find the fight, we're still 12k gold behind. So here, nice ult into Bubble by Nami to just zone away the Ahri from our push. but we're gonna have to back off real soon because everybody is coming back up. Yasuo split pushing in the top lane, probably can secure the tower, but aside from that, not too much our team can do. We can't even secure the mid tower, so it's really not looking too good for us. Like, Pantheon already has the two bot towers just from how ahead he was in his lane. So that's good news, but aside from that, we really can't get anything done. We have only one inhibitor left, which is, of course, our only winning lane's inhibitor. So we have only one inhibitor left, so we're still in dire straits. We managed to find one good fight, but we need, like, another good fight to win the game, which is going to be a real challenge. Like, just looking at the team comps and just looking at everything. Baron's coming up in, like, 20 seconds. I'm resetting to pick up whatever items I can. The Infinity Orb. The Infinity Orb. Pick up whatever items I can just before the fight. We get a pick onto the Ahri again, and Nunu here goes into our team, but Lucian's in the area as well. It's now a 2v2 over there. Kha'Zix dies to the Lucian, and Pantheon is in trouble, I would say. He kills Lucian actually, and Nunu is kind of going onto him, trying to trade onto him. Nunu escapes with one sliver of health, and the Elder Dragon burn doesn't quite manage to get the Nunu, unfortunately. So now here the problem is, this is a prime time to pick up Baron, but the problem is two problems. Firstly, Kha'Zix is dead, Nunu is alive, and secondly, all the waves are pushing in because we are missing two inhibitors, so super minion waves are going to be pouring in. So really, you only are really losing very, very badly when you, like, don't have inhibitors to protect your base. Here, you look at how much the Ziggs ultimate does. I managed to nearly clear out the entire wave, and with the rest of my abilities, I basically managed to clear out that wave. Like, without the Ziggs ultimate, like, that wave would have been so hard to clear. So yeah, it's all good. Now the enemy team looks like they're gonna go on Baron. Like, you saw the Nunu for a split second there on the Baron, so I'm a little bit suspicious. Nami actually ults over. Turns out they're not on the Baron. Nunu whiffs his ult. Doesn't really matter too much though. He is a full tank Nunu. His ult's not going to do too much. Kha'Zix is coming into the area. Yasuo just split pushing. Lucian is actually answering the split push. I do think Yasuo probably wins one-on-one against Lucian. I believe. We shall see. Okay, Ahri comes for backup, and Yasuo is now in trouble. Pantheon actually ults over, kills the Lucian. Here I'm just trying to distract the Nasus for as long as possible before he can join the fight. I'm not too successful at that, so I have to wait a while before following him. If not, he can just cut me off. Here I ult to get off as much damage as possible. And the Nasus is going in 1v4. So here I'm just going to put the bomb him back into my team. He can't escape, putting down the E onto his path of retreat, and here he chooses to stand and fight. Not the best move. Bran wanders his way into the four of us. I don't think that's what he was intending. He probably just lagging or something like that. Here we lose our last inhibitor to the minions, but here we have to push for the win. Like, if we don't win here, we are never gonna win. Look at how Ziggs clearing towers, using my E to clear the towers, using my spells to just clear the minions. I've got to clear the towers here. Got my passive. Auto onto the tower, throw my spells, auto onto the tower's gone. Here, throwing my spells, auto onto the nexus, throw my spells, auto onto the nexus, auto onto the nexus, throwing my spells, auto onto the nexus, and we somehow pick up the victory. Now, if I was anyone other than Ziggs, this would have been possible. We wouldn't have pushed fast enough, and even though I was Ziggs, if the enemy team actually focused me, we wouldn't have won the game. But they focused the Nami and I think it was the Pantheon first, and they left me untouched, which helped me finish the game. So with that, thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.